Hi, welcome to the next edition of Watching the Standard Meta. As you may notice, I am slowly discontinuing the intro where I do a face up. Let me know in the comment section if you like this way better. If you like this kind of content, make sure you smash that like button and subscribe. We're on our way to 1,000 subs. Let's get there together. Let's get monetized and let's get into the changes in the current meta. So there's a huge shift between these upper three DACs. Burrow's token, I guess, is getting a little bit of a shift. 4% gain, that's pretty decent. I guess that means mono white tokens, yeah, has been on the dip. Just kind of switching over to Boros. Rest of the other decks sticking around about 5% or lower. And of course, today I do have 4 decks to talk about after this. So, Dimir, Izzet, and Cauldron. So, even after the bans, we still have like a 22%, 23% meta of just straight Izzet. Either it's Cauldron or it's Prowess, all of which is with the same card that I said that's supposed to be banned from the brand new set, Final Fantasy. Of course, they didn't want to ban it, and now it's literally taking over in both formats. I mean, both decks, right? So 22% still playing the card. Honestly, it's pretty strong. And it also doesn't really help that it's also like a very expensive card, right? Because it is a Final Fantasy card. So people do actively want to buy the card. So now I think it's like a $50 per card. And you kind of need a playset, 3 to 4, or a semi playset to a playset. So you're basically spending $150 to $200 just to dump your money into this deck, which is why they're both so expensive, which is unheard of for an Izzet deck, right? Izzet typically is a very budget-friendly option, except for like Steam Vents, so the shocks, normally. Like even Phoenix is not that expensive of a deck. But yeah, here we are, living in a world where you're spending $600 something on a standard deck. That's kind of insane. That's like a budget modern deck. And that's like an ultra expensive deck in Pioneer. So, like, is it really where you want to be? I don't know. Like, that seems very high. But it is showing up in record numbers. I looked through the challenges and all the leagues, and all I'm seeing is these 3 decks just getting dumped. A lot of one, like, challenge was nothing but Dimir mid range. And they had tons of these. I'm just like, what is going on with this format? This format seems unbearable. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think about this format as a whole. And let's go ahead and dive straight into the 4 decks that I have to talk about. So a very old but true deck in the format, of course, is Celestia Cage. Looks like I picked up 1 card from Final Fantasy. Still playing the Patchwork, the Elf, the Gear Hulk, and Enduring Innocence. Nice little card there. Voice to make sure they can't interact with us when we're trying to cage, but it counters something to trigger the cage to play an Overlord. We have 1 Sandstorm Scavenger, which actually kind of helps for Arena for budget purposes. That's 1 less mythic you gotta take up, which is actually kind of important, right? Because I mean, mythics are so difficult to actually acquire on Arena, and having 4 cages, 4 Gear Hulks, and 2 Elspeths is a lot, and is already a lot. So we have Get Lost for a little bit of removal. Sideboard, we have more removal with Dust Rose Reliquary for counters and a lot of heavy removal. We probably want to bring in Interrupter. Ghost Vacuum for Graveyard Hate. Authority for aggro. Soul Guide Lantern for Graveyard Hate. Ooze for Graveyard Hate. Loran for Artifacts and Enchantment Hate. Voice for a little bit extra protection for our cage turns. Beza for aggro. Elishnorn to stop on plays. And then we have Cease and Desist for a little bit of artifact enchantment destruction. Plus tiny bits of graveyard hate. And that is Lesnia Cage for standard. Now the next 3 decks might seem like a lot of overlap. You might catch the drift with what decks I like based off these 3 decks. So we're going to go ahead and get into that. So first on my list is Naya Yuna, right? The 5-drop, 1 for Final Fantasy. It's also playing Summon Fairy. I'm pretty sure Finnar, I think is what it's called. I can't really see it from this far. Sorry. So I think that's the ramp spell. Some Terras and some the 8-drop Night Saga. Still playing the Overlords, pretty solid card there. We have a Dredger's Insight and Origins for a little bit of so to mill stuff in our yard for reanimation purposes. We have FOMO, some fire magic for sweepers for aggro, because I mean prowess is a thing, so that's pretty good. We have this one. I believe this gets rid of artifacts, so that gets rid of the cauldron, which is quite relevant. We have another abrade in the sideboard also for that, an exorcist too to get the cauldron. Torch for a little bit of aggro removal. Decree for black or red removal. Get lost for mainly probably enchantment removal. Grinding matchups. We have Shark Hunter or Spark Hunter. Helix for aggro. And Lantern for graveyard hate. And that is Naya Yuna. So let's go ahead and dive into the next one. So the next one I wanted to just cover because, I mean, it was probably a worry. Like, okay, is this deck banned out of the format because of the Beanstalk was hit? So clearly it's not. So you do get that kind of a luxury. It's more of a Yuna Overlord deck. First, the other one was more all on Yuna. So we do have a lot. We still have the Fenard for a little bit of, pretty sure that's basic land ramp. Yeah. We have Zur. So that's why I wanted to talk about it. Zur still actually competitive. Turning on your Overlord, still good in the format. At least enough to win something. We have Virtue for a little bit of reanimation to work with it. Temporary Lockdown, because we are a 3-drop and higher deck. And then we have a little bit of removal. And that's essentially about it. In the main sideboard, we have Pulse. Great against cards with multiple like tokens, stuff like that. Get Lost for graveyard hate, Duress for control combo. Day of Judgment for aggro. Terra Stunner for artifact enchantment removal. Beza for aggro. Nisa, nice little card for grinding matchups. Also, you get tons of bodies, and it's a nice way to finish the game. Day of Judgment, more aggro hate. That's Zur Zur Overlord Yuna. So we have one more deck to talk about, and you probably have an idea what it is, because I love my ramp. So Teamer Midrange is the last deck. So this deck does play, Regent, pretty sweet, Tyrant, Overlords, cast them theme there, Overlords everywhere. We do play the brand new Dragon Back Assault for a little bit of a sweeper, Smuggler Surprise, Torch the Tower for aggro, Dragonfire 3 steps ahead for counter magic, stock up. So on turn 3, we can maybe find our sweeper effects if we need to. We do play at one single elf, so we do have a very high curve. So that's like the only weird part about this deck. Sideboard, if we need a little more sweeper effects, we have the Dragon plus Fire Mage. Dragon's pretty good because it comes down, sweeps a couple things, especially off of something like a Smuggler Surprise. We have Ghost Vacuum for graveyard hate, Fresh Start for a little bit of target removal, Negates for control, mid-range, stuff like that, combo. We have Reclamation for artifact enchantment hate, Make Our Own Luck in case we want to draw and then potentially put something into play for cheap. Not sure what matchup this is for. It seems a little bit weird to me. I guess you're cutting your torches against control. Maybe that's okay. You have Assault for one more aggro hate. You have this Horse for some reason. Nice with the Overlords. To copy him, get an extra on play trigger. But yeah, it's a pretty spicy deck in general. I'm surprised we're not actually playing. Oh, there's the Cavern of Souls. So I was like, I'm surprised we're not playing Cavern of Souls, just for the purpose of naming Overlords and making sure they can't stop us. But that is it for today. Let me know what you guys think about me just jumping more right into the action. That's kind of what I wanted to do, because it also helps me set up more for converting my Twitch streams into actual YouTube videos. So that's kind of more of the goal. I want to start streaming more often on my Twitch. So if you're interested, come check me out on Twitch at KebbieG, and I will talk to you guys next time.